Hello, my friends on YouTube. Today is Sunday, the 6th of November 2022. Today's video is about signs that Islam is collapsing. Many people will not like that, uh, don't like to hear that. However, it's a reality and we deal with reality. Okay, some people may think, many Muslim people, unfortunately, they are living in an illusion, and that's they think that Islam is growing, and they think because it's growing it is going to take over. Keep living your illusion. You can call it dream, I'll call it nightmare. Okay, so one person, I will not say if it was a man or a woman, send me few videos about celebrating Halloween in Saudi Arabia. I'm not going to mention the name of this person, and the reason is obvious, because maybe one of the terrorists may send him a box of chocolate, or not hand grenade, but probably something else. I think the reason is obvious. I'm trying to be sarcastic, so I'll keep the name. We'll not talk about his name or her name. Okay, anyway, this is very interesting development in Saudi Arabia, that many people now are celebrating Halloween with vengeance. And for those, I'm very sure that people in the West, in many places, are aware what Halloween is. The root of Halloween, actually, it comes from Ireland, and it originates from a celebration of the devil, and making offering to the devil. Whatever, if that, I mean, it's a fact. Even if you're Irish, you have to admit the fact. Okay, celebrating the devil. That is, I'm not encouraging people to do that, to celebrate the devil, or to be devilish. There's enough devilish in each one of us. So anyway, that's beside the point. It's very interesting, because actually that indicates one thing, that the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, he understood there is certain pressure among the people of his country, and one of two: it's either look inward and come out of that illusion. Many people don't want to admit the fact, and they prefer to live in the glory of the past and in their own illusion. And they tell you Islam is growing, Islam is spreading, Islam, and they don't want to know reality. I think the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia came to the realization that you can't do that anymore. The world has changed. So to deny reality and pretend that you're doing well, at the end you pay the price, and you will pay double or triple or quadruple. Now, even though until the Crown Prince in Saudi Arabia allowed people to do whatever they want to do, okay, that was forbidden. Cinemas was forbidden in Saudi Arabia. Going to the beach was forbidden. Everything was forbidden. Yet people did everything. Does anyone want to tell me, since this ideology started 1400 years ago, there's no one single person in the Gulf region did not commit adultery, did not commit fornication, did not drink alcohol, like the founder said you shouldn't drink alcohol. No one had extramarital affair. Come on. The fact is, all this is happening, and the difference between that person who is living in denial and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, he is admitting the fact. And that takes courage. And that's why I respect him. Okay? The problem now, we are going to talk about Iran. However, we as a people in this region, you could say we are living a Halloween day every day for 1,400 years. And I'm going to give you something that I saw with my own eyes. Sometimes you go out shopping in a mall. Shopping malls here are many. And I was in New Jersey in an area where many Muslims dwell. I remember this little child with his mother. They were shopping. And I believe, I'm not sure because there's no way to be sure. A Muslim lady who is totally covered with black, it's almost like the Halloween costume. Black from top to bottom, nothing is showing, even her eyes, there is an opening to the eyes. However, she has a very strange thing, is like I don't know what you call it, kind of like a shade coming down, so she can see, but by looking down, but no one can see her eyes. And that little child, I don't know, he was not paying attention, and suddenly he raises up his head. He was like about 4 years old, and he screamed because the image is so frightening to a little child to see this. I believe this woman was from the Black Muslim movement, belongs to Louis Farrakhan, because also there are so many of them in this area. But it could be also from the Middle Eastern, from the area that it got infected heavily with the teaching of this founder. So, we are talking about Halloween in Saudi Arabia. Actually, the Halloween, you can Google it, Halloween in Saudi Arabia. There are people who are, similar to in the West. A child dressed, or even an adult dressed in a funny costume like Winnie the Pooh or Tigger or whatever. And this day is for that thing, to dress in costume. And many countries actually, they do that. And the idea of we're doing that to worship Satan, I don't think a single person in Saudi Arabia going out with this costume to celebrate the devil. They've been controlled for so many years that they cannot express anything until suddenly there is a breathing space. So they are having fun. Hey, go ahead. And for those who don't know, because unfortunately, many Muslims, they think they are so pure because the Prophet of Allah came to us. Think again. In Saudi Arabia, in the Gulf region, before the coming of this guy, this Richard person, 1400 years ago, I don't want to speak openly because I don't want them to remove the video again. So he came, and this time there were many gods, and everybody, each group of people worship their god, and they turn around it. And the black building that the people go now to perform Hajj over there in Mecca. Some people actually used to also turn around the black building, but suddenly that became the house of God. God lives there. The temperature is 700 degrees there, and God is living there without air condition. What's wrong with the Bahamas? Anyway, so the amazing thing is the guy who came 1400 years ago, he destroyed all the other statues and he left only one. That's the black building that we see today. What many people don't know about is when people go to perform Hajj and they go to Mecca, next to that building there's another monument, erected monument, that's for Satan. May the blessing of Allah be on you. Okay? And the people who are going to perform Hajj, they turn around that black building and they go and throw stone on the monument of Satan. So you turn around one monument and you go and stone the devil, stone the monument of the devil. That indicates one thing. They are really projecting what's in each person. No one can say, I am 100% good or clear or clean. We have selfish nature, all of us, and sometimes we have devilish thought. And that's reflected in the two statues. One wants to reach for the good nature of man, of human, and one, the devil. Okay, so you're not pure after all. That's the tradition that your boss told you. Okay, I explained it to you. Waqa al-Amr, I'm sorry, I just finished the Arabic. Sometimes I get confused, I'm sorry. Reality of the situation is, I was speaking in Arabic, so please forgive me for that. The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia came to the understanding that you cannot force morality on people, because until 4 or 5 years ago there was still an institute in Saudi Arabia run by the Muslim clerk in Saudi Arabia and probably in the rest of the Gulf region called Hayat al-Amr wal-Ma'ruf wal-Nahy al-Munkar. That is like, practically in Iran it's called the Ministry of Virtue. But in Saudi Arabia was the Ministry of commanding people to do good and commanding them to stop doing evil. And you can't command anything from some people, from a person or people, especially doing good. The doing of good, normally it comes from the person, from your heart. You want to do good. You want to help others. You want to protect your family and so on and so forth. That you don't need anyone to command you to protect yourself or protect your family or protect your country. That has to be coming out of you as a man or a woman. Okay, it doesn't come in a form of a command. And also, for people who do not want, you cannot command people not to do bad things. Let's say, I really dislike to talk about that, but I have to. Adultery. I am not for adultery because it destroys the family. However, if a person, man or woman, wants to commit adultery, who can stop them? None. So the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, in a way, he came to the understanding that I cannot force morality on people. I cannot, and it will not happen. And therefore, he ended that Ministry of Virtue stuff. If you want to become good in heart, that's your business. You want to drink alcohol, is your business. You want to do whatever you want to do as long as you don't hurt others. In your home, you can do whatever you want. However, unfortunately, until now in Iran, that nightmare of Halloween is still existing. They want the Ministry of Virtue to continue and force people. Women, you have to wear a scarf. Men, you have to do this. And by putting that facade, if you will, they think they are advancing the moral standard of people, forgetting that the boss, the founder of this nonsense, he himself allowed immorality. The mut'a marriage. Mut'a marriage is you marry, a man can agree with a woman, or a woman can agree with a man to marry for half an hour, couple of days. I remember I think it was BBC. They went to Iran undercover with cameras to look for mut'a marriage. And the person asked, I want mut'a marriage. They said, oh, go to that mosque. The imam in this mosque, he has all the people who perform mut'a marriage. So he went to the mosque, the imam, the religious figure. Okay, and he told him, I want to marry, I don't know, I can't remember, one day or a couple of hours, and I want a young girl, 17 years old. Do you have that? Yes. What's the price? The virgin is more expensive than non-virgin. And each age, the blue eyes, of course, has different price. So practically, this is prostitution. And who's running it? The religious head. Why? Because the founder told them they can do that. So, but that is that's morality. That's okay, because actually morality now, it's according to what the founder of this faith said. So, and if he said this is okay, it's okay, but you can't drink a beer. You can take a young girl, 17 years old, buy her for prostitution. That's not marriage, that's prostitution. Okay? For half an hour, and you pay the price, and everybody's happy because it's marriage. You see, you signed the marriage certificate. You signed, and because you signed, it's fine. No, it's not. It's still prostitution. Okay? What I see here, and probably many people see, that Iran until now, even though it's boiling, in Iran, the situation is boiling. They won't continue with this nonsense, this tradition, this sick tradition, and call it morality. I call it immorality. Whom are you deceiving? Whom? So the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia came to understand that. We hope that the leaders of Iran may also understand that, and understand that this cannot be done by force. This comes from inside of each person. If they want to be moral people or immoral people. Okay? You cannot force us. You cannot force people. Enough of this nonsense. We thank you very much. We hope to hear from you.